All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruchachorash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit. Your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. Hey, really, I only got 2 clips for this one. If Esau was able to accomplish his dream, right, if he had it his way, he would have us living real down bad in a very precarious scenario. But we know, according to scriptures, the Heavenly Father is going to stop him before he can accomplish, his full-scale New World Order agenda, right? He's going to be allowed to get some of it off, but he's not going to have absolute authority, fulfilled on this earth. Because if he did, he would, he would wipe us out as a people, right? He would try to disconnect us so that he could rule, carnally and just destroy all life. But the Heavenly Father isn't going to allow that. Job 5:12, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So this man will fail in his overall objective, which is to establish his empire, through carnal means and technology. Now, I want to start with this first clip, that inspired this video. Some real bad Hunger Games type shit, man. Look at this. All the movies show us this. Things like Running Man, things like The Truman Show, things like Death Race, where the rich are being, not just the rich, the ultra rich, the elites, right? The people of the world able to enjoy better society. They're entertained through seeing the poor underclass fight for their lives in death games. Esau's sick. And of course, this is AI generated, if you couldn't tell. Boy, that nigga moving. Hey man, fuck that shit, man. Hey, the Heavenly Father, he's not gonna let these sons of bitches get to that level, y'all, because, he would just wipe us all out. Motherfuckers need to be trying to break out that glass. Fuck, I ain't doing no trials. Fuck all that. Right here, this is just a little depiction, but this is, every movie has showed us, one of the famous ones being the Hunger Games, man. They would literally make a sport and a circus out of our entertainment and suffering. And what is the proof of that? What is some actual real life proof of that? Right here. Says the okay, here we go. I don't know why that bullshit ass. Okay, right here. It says, yes, some Christians were fed to lions and other wild animals, but the popular idea that this was a daily or systematic method of mass execution exaggerated. All right, whatever. So it may not have been happening every single day, but we know that this is something that did happen. Damnatio ad bestias, meaning what? Damnation of the beast, meaning, right? Hey, this is a form of execution. And this is, see, man, y'all, here it is. We have books about this. You can go watch the old documentaries now. Oh, it wasn't happening. That, man, Esau, boy, this new AI shit, boy, I tell you. This is real and true. And it wasn't Edomites, these were Israelites, Christians, darks, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, those left over in the land. Look, he's a dark skin. Look. Come on. That's a dark skinned man fighting a damn lion. Right? We know that, as a form of punishment, y'all. They'll throw us in there, and Jake could get consumed by them animals. This is a matter of fact. Excuse me. E, he's a natural lover of blood sport. They love to try to paint us as, the violent ones, this, that, and the third. But this is how they get down. Now, they're always trying to rearrange and erase history. What the fuck is this shit? See, early Christians, it actually never happened. See, here it is, y'all. You have it. Come on, bro. There's a famous. Hold up, because I did a video on this. Hold up. Right here, like the first minute of this little video from the History Channel. There's a one of the saints, right, has an account. I want to play it, y'all. I don't want them to take the video. Let's see if we can get away with it. If not, they'll probably have me edit it out. Let's see if we can get away with this morning.
No one.
Hey, if you didn't know, to make commercials go away quicker, click on the video twice, back out twice, and the third time, boom.
Trajan celebrates an extended series of games.
So I'm fast forwarding so they don't take the video. Oh, come on.
It's successful, it's rich. And Trajan really personifies that, the energy, the success.
2 million square miles.
Wide array of
The Romans see Christianity as a threat.
is brought to Rome to be killed. Most likely,
Its promise to undermine Roman conceptions of how power and authority were supposed to work.
a prominent Christian leader is brought to Rome to be killed. Most likely in the city's amphitheater.
Ignatius of Antioch, he is clearly
Ignatius of Antioch. Okay. Yep. Right here, y'all. And of course, right here they'll paint him as an Edomite, but we know he was an Israelite, right? So that's why. Hey, look, y'all. You can't. Man. So just reading up, doing some history, some double checking on him. He was most likely thrown to beasts, right? And then his corpse was recovered. That's why famously in his imagery, you see him being chomped on by lions. Although it doesn't specifically state lions in his actual death history, most likely. Right here, Death and Aftermath says Ignatius wrote that he would be thrown to beasts, right? They had him being, transported to Rome by a group of soldiers. And apparently, his execution was going to be by beast. It says in the 4th century, it says Eusebius reports a tradition that this did happen, while Jerome is the first to explicitly mention lions. John, who the fuck that is the first to place Ignatius martyrdom at the Colosseum. Modern scholars, blah blah blah. So, he was torn apart of beasts, right? Most likely lions. This is how E gets down. You disagree with them, you bring up, a doctrine, a way of life that is against their way, and they're willing to feed you to wild fucking animals, y'all. And these are the kinds of things that, if this man was able to completely establish himself, it would be on the regular. Remember, their mindset, if they can get rid of us, right, it'll make their lives better. This has been one of the missions of the heathen for a long time. You have Psalms 83, you have 1 Maccabees 12. Let me get this other one. I like to get this one too out of the Apocrypha. Out of Maccabees. Yep. 1 Maccabees 5 and 2. It says we'll start 1, excuse me. It says, now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. and thereupon they begin to slay and destroy the people. So that's how they do. You know, whenever they see us on the up and up, they want to wipe us the fuck out. Going back to what that hatred that E had, right? Genesis 27:41, to slay my brother Jacob. They still have that spirit. So you best believe if he was able to fully establish his new world order, it would be a slow, torturous annihilation of our people. All right, systematically. They tried to do it in the past, right? You look at the history of America, you look at how they would chop off the limbs of, you know, indigenous, right, so-called Native Americans who, you know, couldn't meet quota, right? When they would force them to work mines and to extract resources, they would chop off noses, chop off hands. What's the proof of that? Men like Galvarino, right, the Apache warrior, who, after having his hands chopped off by, you know, so-called good European, you know, Judeo-Christians, he decided to attach knives to his wrists. So coming back here, you know, another video I want to throw with it, you know, the whole point of marking and chipping everybody, right? The way technology has gone, and it's been set up to monitor and to know where everyone's at, to know who is who, what is what. E wants to have complete knowledge of everyone and everything, you know, everywhere. You know, trying to play that role of the Heavenly Father, which they're not. You know, hey, they're going out of power, they're mad, but it's all good, baby. Let's do this.
Devices now serve as
The reason
6.4 billion connected devices now serve as collection points, mapping and recording our daily routines, making a more secure and more invasive system. But who else is listening? Big Brother no longer works alone. Thousands of little brothers monitor and aggregate your every move, building a complete digital profile of you to be bought, sold, or stolen in an instant. Toys study your children, reporting their play habits back to marketers. Appliances, consoles, and home security systems give corporations a window into your private life. Control of your vehicle and mobile device can now be breached remotely by anyone at any time. You may think that you are immune or underestimate the risk, but your digital shadow is already compromised. Insurance companies use algorithms to monitor your life habits and limit or deny coverage. Health providers determine if your cancer is worth treating. Search results and news feeds are skewed to bias mood and influence your vote, engineering social uprisings on a massive scale. You are now less valuable than the data you produce. This.
Yep. And this is from the game Watch Dogs, you know, some time ago, showing you how, you know, E wants to use technology to have complete control. Let me do one more thing. Use that for the thumbnail. But right there, you know, if this man had his way, y'all, he would completely use his technology to make our lives a living hell, which it already is, right? But it would be worse, obviously. That's why the Heavenly Father is going to intervene so that this man is not able to accomplish. You know, we staying in the book of Job for this one. We already know what the deal is, right? Job 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So when this man believes that he's about to accomplish his NWO, right, the Heavenly Father's going to, the necessary things that have to take place to put him out of power are going to occur. And that's just the fact of the matter, right? He's going to be allowed to get things cracking for a minute, but he's not going to be able to fully accomplish his goal, which is to utterly eradicate us as a people, right? Trying to give back that birthright, that blessing through artificial means. All right, we know there, you know, says the hand of the wicked, right? Laborer, the word Imal. We're going to be able to rise up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and take this man down before he has a chance to take us out. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. It shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Bingo and perfect. So this man is going to be stricken down and pulled out of power by his own very weapons that he created. You know, the missiles. That's going to be beautiful, because if this man isn't stopped, y'all, you know, he literally would try to wipe us out. that's been on his mind for a long time. Remember Ezekiel, that perpetual hatred. He's wanted to wipe us out for a long time now. Going back to Ezekiel 35, I believe. Yeah. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So here it is. He wanted to eradicate us and get rid of us, but the Heavenly Father has things set up in such a way to where he's going to be the one whom is eradicated, and it's going to be glorious, and it's going to be to our salvation and victory. You know, hey, Sirach 27, you know, he set the pale up on high, right? You know, Matt, you know, remember like in cartoons and movies, a guy takes a bucket, you know, fills it with water and sets it on top of the door frame to drop on, you know, some unsuspecting victim. You know, well, that's how he's done things for us, but everything's gonna come back and fall on him, y'all. So that's it, man. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Warash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all like to Akim Wa Akwath, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Shalom.